Alrighty, everybody, we are back. Falcons, Raiders. Interesting game. I think we saw some good out of the offense, particularly the run game. Also, I think Kirk early on had some nice plays, kind of managed the pocket well, as we'll see on this first play here. But as the game went on, I think the passing offense was a little too conservative. And I think, we could have done some things different. But right here, we'll go ahead and drop this first play. We're going to see Kirk kind of get into this backside dig. So you're going to have on the front side a go route paired with a kind of curl. And then we're going to see Kyle coming up here, kind of running this whipper return route. And then we have Bijan kind of as his flat check down. So I think Kirk does a really good job. He kind of opens to the left. He's looking for that go route. He's looking for Drake. He doesn't like the leverage. I don't blame him. Doesn't throw it. Good decision. Gets back. Manages the pocket pressure well here. Resets. Throws an absolute dot. Middle of the field. Backside. Third read. It's a great play. And, really it's a shame because I thought after seeing this, again, you can see his helmet's looking left. He's making his reads. Decides not to throw it. Come back middle. Manage the pocket. Throw it kind of not perfect base, but he's able to get enough spin on it. It's an absolute dot. It's a great play. So I thought it was kind of a shame that, I think the first half went pretty well, but, he missed some throws in the second half. He really should have had 2 or 3 picks towards the end of the game. So, but at least here, they started strong. All right, next one here, we got the Falcons either running an inside fade paired with their curl from Drake, or they're running smash, which is a kind of short route, whether that's a curl route, a whip route, an in route, paired with a corner. I can't really tell just based on the top of Mooney's stem. We'll call it smash just to make it easy. So we'll say they're running smash front side paired with a dagger, which is a pretty common combination. And we'll really get into the meat and bones of why this play is kind of doomed from the start. So again, if we're going to call this smash, maybe it's inside fade, we're just going to call it smash. So smash traditionally, outside receiver comes up, runs a curl, runs a whip route, whatever, and then Mooney here is coming up and trying to attack the area between the safety and the corner. It's kind of a cover 2 beater traditionally. That's what I think they're running down here. It doesn't really matter. It's not there. So backside, you have Kyle Pitts running this clear out, and you have the dagger, which is outside receiver breaking inside after the inside receiver clears it out. And then we'll add that we have Bijan kind of come over into the flat. So this is what we're running. And front side, it's not there. Kirk Cousins opens front side, doesn't like the leverage. I don't blame him. It's not really there. Comes back, wants to throw this dagger window. It's probably there. It'd be a tight window throw, but it's probably there. But we already have pressure under the face. So this is one of those plays that I can't sit here and I can't blame Kirk Cousins because, again, he's here to make his read. All right, second read. Staring down the barrel of pressure as he's turning right. And I don't think this is a reasonable play you would expect your quarterback to make. Now, you could argue that maybe Penix, and I don't think Penix is the most mobile guy, but he's certainly more mobile than Cousins. Maybe Penix sees this and he starts running right, and maybe he gets outside the pocket, and maybe we have an opportunity to make a play later in the down. That's certainly fair. I might even agree with you. But in terms of evaluating Kirk Cousins and what we expect him to do in this offense, I can't blame him here. We just give up the pressure. Alrighty, next one here. We get them with the sluggo to Drake London, wide open, easy pitch and throw from Kirk. Don't miss a layup. He doesn't. Just a really good call, attacking the outside corners with kind of the double move. Really good pass pro up front, and obviously the Raiders defense does not play this how they want to. But again, we'll go ahead and rewind it real quick. So all sluggo is essentially this player, who's Drake, comes up, acts like he's running a slant, and then you take it deep. And the whole goal is just to get whatever corner is responsible for him to bite down, and then you have a free kind of throwing window. And usually, the safety, if they were in like a quarters or cover 2 look, the safety would kind of stress that over the top window, so you really would be trying to fit it in here. But in this case, they got one middle field safety, so there's no chance to stress this throwing window. That's why Kirk's able to just lay it out there. Really easy throw and catch. Not a whole lot of analysis. I mean, it's a double move. It's sluggo. It works. It's a touchdown. I mean, that's kind of the start and end of it there. So it's a good play. It's a great play call, and it's awesome that Drake London was able to grab a touchdown. All right, next one here. We're going to focus a little bit on the run game. It's mostly Kirk Cousins' focus for this video, as the Falcons have a big decision to make with him. But, I want to highlight the run game a little bit because the running backs played awesome. The offensive line had their moments. And right here, this is why Chris Lindstrom gets paid a bunch of money. because you're going to see Chris Lindstrom get all the way out here and able to make this block on the linebacker. You're going to see Dahlman get some horizontal push on this player, and now he's going to try to cut it inside, but Dahlman's going to be in front of him and kind of just be in position to peel back and kind of block him. You're going to see good one-on-one block outside, and you're going to see Bergeron get up here on 41. And it's just really easy for your running backs when you block like this. So, again, you can see him kind of splitting beneath on Drew Dahlman. We don't care. If you want to run yourself out of the play, all right. And then right here, this is what it's all about. Look at just the lane. We also have some backside block here. It's phenomenal job from the running game. Great job from Lindstrom getting out there, getting the hand on there. Great job from Bijan getting some yards after contact too. So just running game absolutely killed it. Big reason we were able to win this game along with the special teams. 2 blocked punts is kind of crazy, but we got that. All right, next one here. We're going to talk about a play that I think the offensive coaching staff in review this week is just going to have to look at this play and decide, do we think Penix would make a better play here? And that's really the discussion point. I'm not in the room. I don't think Penix is some sort of dynamic creator, but I certainly think he's a better creator than Kirk Cousins is, and he certainly moves better than Kirk Cousins. So, on this read, Kirk does actually a pretty good job navigating the pressure here, but he decides not to throw the football when I think he could have picked up a first down. And now this is a small play in the grand scheme of things. I mean, hey, he still scrambles. He gets us a couple yards. This isn't a disaster by any means. But we're going to watch Mooney kind of come up here, run this curl, pair it with Drake kind of running this quick out. Easy concept. It's not really there off the rip of the snap. He has pressure in his face. I get all this. Good job navigating. Right here is when the coaching staff is going to have to decide. Do we think Penix makes this play? Right here. Do we think Penix keeps his eyes up and just throws it right there and we get a first down? Or do we think Penix just runs it and he's just a better athlete so we get more out of this run? The coaching staff's going to have to decide that and weigh it against what Kirk Cousins is doing right now in terms of passing the football and his whole body of work this year, because he's certainly had some good games. I think he's in a clear slump, which is why I think there needs to be a serious discussion about starting Penix. But, these are the plays the coaching staff's going to have to look at and say, hey, do we want to live in this world? In an NFL where every top quarterback can pretty much create a little bit, and in an NFL where our quarterback is in a serious slump and throwing interceptions to start third quarters, do we stick with him or do we try the new guy and see if he can give us better production? There's no guarantee Penix will, but right now there's no guarantee that Kirk Cousins is going to snap out of it and start playing well again. We've given him 4 or 5 games to figure it out, and he hasn't. So it's a tough discussion for the coaching staff. All right, next one here. This is one that I will not blame on Kirk Cousins. I actually think Kirk makes the right read. He makes the right throw. I think this is just him and Mooney not being on the same page, which happens sometimes. I don't want to make it a big deal, but I saw some people kind of blaming Kirk for this, and I think Kirk reads the leverage right. He makes the right directional throw. Him and Mooney just aren't on the same page. So what do I mean? We'll wait till the kind of the top of his drop. So right here, Kirk's going to throw this. Right now, based on the leverage, Kirk has 2 options. Either he's going to throw it outside, which is what he does, and he's expecting Mooney to break outside and kind of catch this thing in stride, or he could throw it kind of coming at Mooney back towards him. Mooney seems to run his route like that, but when you run it like that, you give this defender an opportunity to come down and kind of get a hand in there, which I think we'll see. We'll kind of pause it at the apex of his drop. So obviously Mooney slips here, so if he's running back to the ball, maybe it's not as big of a deal. But he slips, but you can still see the defender would have had time to try to stress this throw, where I think if Mooney does what Kirk's expecting, which is just break outside at the top of your stem, then this is probably a completion. So it's hard to sit here for me and blame Kirk for this one. I think it's just miscommunication. Not a big deal. It happens sometimes. Nobody's going to be perfect every play. I'm not coming at Mooney. But it's just a miss, and it's, an opportunity to have a first down that we missed because of it. So nothing here that I think, Penix would fix in that sense. I think this is just miscommunication. All right, right here, big down, big distance. We get Drake London on the slant route, creating separation against press coverage, kind of getting that late push off, just doing a really good job. Kirk does a good job navigating the pressure. Bijan does a good job in pass pro, and it's a great play. We're running kind of 3 curls to one side, and then we're just really hunting for Drake London on this slant. And it's there, and we throw a good ball. Drake's able to make a little bit happen after the catch. So that's a great play by him. I think Drake London has continued his good play. We're just not the most dynamic passing attack right now. So in terms of what we're running, you're going to see Pitts kind of come up. Oh, wrong color. You're going to see Pitts kind of come up here, run this curl. So that's what we're running over here, and then where the ball's actually meant to go. Trust your guy. Run that slant. It's there. It's a great throw. So again, right here, middle of the field, he likes it. Navigate the pressure. Bijan, good job in pass pro. Throw it up top. Let him go up and get it. And it's great job by Pitts. Or no, sorry, not Pitts, but Drake and Kirk. So easy connection, easy kind of read, And again, I want to highlight Bijan against a big boy. Gets him pushed. Kirk, step up, avoid the pressure. Easy delivery. So great job from Bijan in pass pro. Again, Bijan and Algier are so good in pass pro, and it really comes up all the time when you watch this offense in depth. Just having two guys who you can trust to pick up blitzers is such a benefit to your offense. All right, next one here. We're going to draw this one up just to really emphasize what's going on here. But essentially, we're running all curl, and Kirk Cousins doesn't really have the ability to get away from the pressure. This is one of those plays I think Penix probably avoids. I actually think Penix here probably looks to scramble, gets behind Jake Matthews and is rolling right. But, that's not Kirk Cousins' fault. You don't test an elephant by seeing how well it can climb a tree, right? Like, that's not how this offense is going to run with Kirk Cousins at the helm. But what we can focus on is the actual route concept. So we run up here. We got a curl. Run right here. We got a curl. We run over here. We got another curl. And then the real doozy, you come up here. We got a curl. And then we got Bijan to the flat. This is what we're running, guys. Not for me, very static routes. You can see there's nowhere for Kirk to go. And again, if you want to argue that maybe Penix gets out of this, I don't even fully disagree with you. I think it might happen. I think Penix maybe gets away from the pressure here. Just something the offense is going to have to factor in. But we just talk play call and what Kirk's working with here. I don't think he makes a bad read. I don't think any of the throws are really there. Yeah, this is just one of those plays that I sit here and I'm like, well, could Penix maybe make something happen here? Yeah, but does that forgive the offensive play calling? No. And then just the question becomes, are they calling this because they don't trust Kirk Cousins? They want to keep everything as basic as possible. It's very likely, honestly. Kirk hasn't been making good decisions lately. So it's hard to say until we see Penix on the field and if the play calling drastically changes. All right, next one here, we're going to focus on Kirk Cousins and kind of start that discussion on, is it time to potentially bench him? Because I think this is just really bad decision-making. I think this is physically not the sort of ability that can make up for bad decision-making. So when physically you're not as enticing as, maybe some other guys we have on the roster, your mental abilities need to be sharp. And we just don't get that. And we haven't got that in the last 4 weeks. So what are we running here? So we got kind of this over-the-ball sit, and we're going to pair it with kind of these seam routes, sitting over here, kind of stressing it. And usually when you see these sort of concepts, I always think of them as you're reading a player. And based on who Kirk looks at, I think he's reading this player right here. And generally, when you read kind of that middle field player, what you're doing is you're like, okay, I have these kind of seam routes, and then I have a middle field defender. Does he stay in the middle and open up the seams? Then I'm going to throw that. If he goes more towards the seam and this window's open, you throw it over the middle. So Kirk, to me, comes off the middle field read, looks at Drake, and then decides he's going to throw it over the middle anyways. Now, the problem with this is he could have just thrown a freaking check down, which is probably how the read's supposed to work. So again, look at his eyes. Kirk's eyes are right towards the linebacker. All right. So Kirk sees it. He's like, all right, my middle field read's not there. Let's look left. I'm going to try to hit Drake in this window. Oh, shit, my window's not there. All right, well, I guess I'll just try to fit the ball in towards my tight end anyways. So he tries to do that. It's not well thrown, because if you put it more on the line here, that might be doable, man. If you put it more on this side of the hash, like maybe this player makes a play, but maybe not. Either way, when you put it, come back to a read, try to fit it inside anyways, bad things happen. And then, again, the icing on the cake is, let's pause it right where he looks left. All right, Drake's not there. Just go to your check down, man. Like, to me, the read is probably clearly read this guy, it's kind of 1, 2, 3. I'd be shocked if the read is anything but that. And, just a wobbler, just a slow throw, not physically zip on it. If you put it in there with some zip, not only do you limit the odds and linebackers able to actually catch a ball with some zip, because there's a reason they play defense, but you might even squeeze it in there behind him, and that's a tough play, man. That's one of those plays that if I'm the coaching staff, I'm having a serious discussion on what we do moving forward. Alrighty, as rough as the last one was, this one, Kirk obviously doesn't do anything wrong. I think he makes the right throw. I think he makes the right read. I think the throw itself is fine. Like, could it be a little bit better? Yeah, but overall, this throw looks fine to me. The end zone copy doesn't really give us a great angle, other than, Bijan helping out in pass pro. But to me, the ball kind of just goes through Ray's hands. Tough one, We'll focus on the actual throw here. So again, to me, he's trying to shield him from this player and trying to get the ball right here so he has an opportunity to kind of break up field over the middle. And it just goes through Ray's hands. No real deep analysis here for me from Kirk. I don't think the other throws are really there. Obviously they squeeze open late, but the throw's not really there. What you're really looking at is this player, and do you think you can fit the throw to Mooney behind him? I think he does a good job getting depth. Take the easier throw. It's there. Yeah. Good read. Good throw. Just goes through his hands. Pass pro isn't terrible, I think. I think the pass pro is fine. It's not amazing, but I think this is fine. And, we just miss it. Tough one. All right, we got another non-passing play, just highlighting the run game. My boy Algier, my boy Ray inserting in there, picking up a corner, safety type, whoever the hell 7 is, don't really care. And then Algier just doing a great job kind of navigating this. And I also want to point out that McGarry and Lindstrom do a great job with this double team. So right here, engage on the double team, and then you're going to see McGarry come off and pick up this linebacker type. Right here, one-on-one block, backside with Jake, one-on-one block. And then tight end, great job. And my boy Ray, inserting, blocking it up. And you're going to see Algier just do a great job kind of navigating this one and getting upfield. So at the catch point, great blocks, run away from the safety type, get up the field, be hard to take down, just keep bowling ball forward. Love Algier, like to see him get some carries. And I thought the run game, again, did a great job all game. All right, next one here, you're going to see Kirk connect with Drake London on the out route. Mooney does a really good job on his pick route. You can kind of tell from the man coverage, and Mooney understands that and gets in the way, which is, again, that's the big advantage of using motion. If someone follows, it's probably man coverage. Is it always man coverage? No, sometimes you'll lock certain matchups, and then everybody else is in zone. But right here, Kirk does a good job, goes to his first read. He likes it. And, again, Mooney really just does a good job occupying with his pick route. So again, come up here, just get in the way. So let's watch it. Mooney right here. Again, he's in the window. He's you can even see he's not trying to win. His eyes are on this player. This is proper attention to detail. Again, get in his way. All right. Don't want to get PI, right? Don't make it too obvious, but I know my guy has separation. It's an easy pitch and catch for Kirk. It's a great play. Again, it's a great job by Mooney. I think Mooney's probably the biggest creator of this one. Now, obviously, you'll see this wide open throw. You don't throw reads you aren't to. You don't skip reads that are open. So as much as this flashes and you're saying Kirk should throw this, you don't throw reads that aren't there because, again, your first read is there. So if you don't throw your first read, if you get in the habit of skipping reads that are open, you're going to get yourself into a lot of trouble. So, again, good pass from Kirk. Drake does a good job catching this one. It's a little bit high, but it's still a fine pass. And it's a great conversion on third down. All right, a little bit more focus on the run game. We're going with the wide view here just so we can kind of see the receivers also doing their thing in the run game, trying to get out there, trying to block guys. And because they do, we're able to see Bijan probably pick up an extra 20 yards, right? And that's your 1A, 1B receiver, right? That's Mooney. That's Drake London, giving a damn about the run game, going out there, making some blocks. Up front, big 95. That's a big boy. Damn, look at that guy. That's crazy. Anyways, he's not able to kind of win in space, as I would expect from someone that big as the nose tackle. And Bijan, obviously, is able to make a great play. So, It's an awesome run. We'll watch it one last time from the wide angle. Again, you can see Drake London blocking it up. You can see Mooney getting in the way. Give your guy a shot. We create another 10, 15 yards on the run because we want to get in the way because we give a damn about the run game. So that's awesome. I love that. All right, next one here. We're going to focus more on just physically Kirk Cousins and how I just don't think he really is up to the task in terms of mobility. Like struggling to get a handoff is a tough look for me. I mean, we're going to pause it here. So again, the snap's a little bit to his right. I get that. And then he's trying to catch up. And Algier, I mean, that's a struggle. He's stumbling trying to get it off. And I'm not going to pretend that's never going to happen. Hey, nothing's perfect, right? A little bit off cue, it's fine. But the next play really kind of takes this one and really emphasizes why I think it is a problem and why I think it is limiting some of what we want to do in terms of moving the pocket, in terms of the rollout game, in terms of the play action game, in terms of the run game, apparently, because we can't get a freaking wide zone handoff off. We can't get a freaking stretch play off. It's tough. So we'll look at the next one and it'll really kind of emphasize the issues with this one. All right, so next one here, obviously you can blame a little bit of this on the center, a bit of an off snap. I know Dahlman's coming back from injury and all that, so, give him a little bit of leniency here. But, again, the snap's a little bit off. All right, cool. You would just love a quarterback who has the speed to still get this off because Kirk just gives up. He knows he can't get this off. And, this inside gap kind of opens. I'm not sure that this is going to be much of a gain just because 41's kind of fills this outside gap. But regardless, it's a big loss because we just can't get a runoff. And, again, I think the center's more to blame than Kirk, but Kirk's physical limitations prevent this from working. And honestly, even if this happened and it was Penix is just going to follow Bijan and try to make an actual run out of this. And, if Bijan blocks 41, maybe you get an okay gain. I don't know. All I know is physically watching this to me is not the sort of quarterback play that looks comfortable, fully healthy, fully athletic, the sort of guy who you're going to trust to get plays off on a weekly basis whenever things get muddy. All right, one of the last two plays for Kirk, the Raiders get hit with a terrible roughing the passer call. I would feel pretty pissed off if I was a Raiders fan or a Raiders player. I think this is a throw that if Kirk's able to get it off, I think Kyle Pitts probably converts this down, and we're all talking about how Kirk, was able to clutch up at the very end. That said, it's not. I don't personally think. I saw some people saying like this might get intercepted if he actually got it off. I kind of see what they're saying, but I don't really think so. I think this was going to be a pretty safe throw. But again, it's one of those things. I wish he would have got it off because I'd be really curious on if it was there. So again, top of his drop, Kirk's looking to throw this stuff. He just has pressure in his face. That's not on Kirk. That's just the Raiders making a good play call. Coming up clutch in a big situation for them outside of the roughing the passer call that was terrible. So again, top of his drop, he's going to throw this. To me, this sort of separation here is NFL open. I think this would be a comfortable catch right down the hash for Kyle. And if that's the case, then, we probably ice the game and win. So good play from Kirk. I think the Raiders just make a better defensive play. I don't personally think this was an interceptable or turnover-worthy play just because I think Kyle has enough separation there that I think Kirk probably gets the throw. But, that's one of those things you don't know until you know. Sometimes these defensive back types have that little bit of burst to get underneath a route at the last second. Not really sure. So we'll call it what we see. I see a decisive drop back from Kirk trying to beat the blitz. They just get a batted ball. It's a good play from the Raiders. Not a whole lot of notes from me on this one. All right, last one here. You're going to see the Raiders kind of presenting zero, even sending everybody and then bailing out of it late to fill this middle field window, able to get the pass breakup. It's a really good job from them. I think process-wise for me, if I were the quarterback, and I'm not in the offensive system, I don't know if he's allowed to do this. I would like to be able to raise up, glance hot, throw it if it's there, if not, play the play. So for me, right here, the hot route's this. It's just across the field. And we're going to pair it with front side, a go route, and an out route. Now, Kirk's going to open towards this side. I personally think he should have the ability just to glance here and throw it if it's there. And maybe he does. I don't know. I'm not in the room. But to me, he's like, okay, I'm going to try to play the play. Oh, they sent pressure. I need to be hot. And at that point, you give them the opportunity to bail out of it. Where if you just raise up and throw hot, this is wide open. It's an easy completion. It is what it is. So again, I'm not in the offensive system. I don't know what Kirk's allowed and not allowed to do. They might say, hey, play the play. If you feel hot, then throw it. I just know for me, based on the pre-snap look of the defense, I would be expecting them to send 0. And if they're sending 0, I want my hot route immediately. But it's also just a good play by the Raiders. Like, the hot route's still there. Like, he's still able to get it off. They just bail out. They're able to get a hand on it. That's good from them. I don't think there's anything different Ray should do. When you're the hot route, you need to just run your freaking route. Don't sit here and try to get cute. Like, give the quarterback a trusted outlet that he knows is his hot option. So I don't think Kirk or Ray should have settled, because, you know, it's easy to sit there and say, oh, he had all this space. If Ray just settles, Kirk can hit him. Kirk can just hit him right here. But Ray has no idea what this player is doing. He doesn't have eyes on the back of his head. So if this player is coming screaming down at him and he's playing cute and slowing up, well, Kirk might get into the room and be like, hey, man, what the fuck? I need you to run full speed. So Ray's not at fault here. To me, this is just a really good play call from the Raiders, and I think pre-snap, I would like Kirk to just diagnose that I might be hot here and open towards the hot and see if it's there. If it's just there, just throw it. And that's just my personal philosophy. I'm not in the room. I don't know what the offensive coordinators are telling Kirk to do. So I'm not sitting here pretending I have all the answers. I just know, you know, the Raiders do a good job here fooling us, and they make a great play. I just think structurally there was something that Kirk and Zach Robinson could have done here that would have made this play a non-factor. And again, sometimes raising up to throw hot can get you in trouble too, because, again, if you raise up to throw hot and this guy bails out, and now you're not opening front side. Well, now you opened hot. It's not there. Now I have to get back to the play. So I get both sides of it. I just think for me, being able to beat the blitz, and particularly the presentation of this to me suggests real 0. Because if they're trying to get a deep safety, you know, at that point what they're doing is they're going to be like rotating this guy and then getting this linebacker back out, and he's responsible for that. There's too many moving pieces. Usually, when they're trying to present kind of this 0, but we're going to bail out of it, you'd see this guy aligned more on the hash, and then that would kind of be your indicator that, okay, he's probably the deep safety, and then they're going to drop somebody off to match a player, a wide receiver. So there are certain indicators as a quarterback you can be aware of, and those would, to me, would be things that if I'm seeing this, I'd be like, okay, I'm going to open hot. So tough play, you know, great play by the Raiders defense. They got us. I just think there's some things we could have done in terms of structure that would have made this play not be a factor. And then regarding, you know, just Kirk Cousins in general, I don't think he played as bad as it seems on the surface. I thought the play calling was very conservative. I thought there wasn't a whole lot of opportunities for him to screw up. That said, the 1 or 2 chances he had to screw up, he kind of screwed up. So for me, if this is the play calling we're getting, it either means there's a lack of trust in Kirk Cousins, be it physically or mentally. And at that point, you know, you need to have a real conversation about starting Penix. And I personally, just to be frank, I would start Penix. I think there's more upside there. I think the floor for Cousins is so low right now that I don't think you're missing as much. I think, you know, you're running out of opportunities for him to right the ship. And at some point, you're going to have to pull the plug. So we'll see what they do. I personally would probably put Penix in there. But it's a tougher decision than I think people make it out to be. But I think for me, I would start Penix. So we'll see what the Falcons do. Hopefully they're able to win out, maybe make a playoff spot. We'll see.